All right, welcome everybody to the Ultimate Hockey Show. A little bit earlier on your Monday because of scheduling circumstances. Um, we both have places to be tonight, so we pushed the show an hour earlier to give ourselves a little bit extra time to get to wherever we need to get to. My name is Michael Gill. I'm joined as always by Red Petty. Good
Hey,
evening or good afternoon, Red. How are you?
very good, sir. How about you?
Pretty good. Sources tell me there's a pretty big baseball game happening tonight, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for that. And there's also a big hockey game, the baseball game though, so
Yeah.
can watch our local hockey team. They are in southern Alberta to play the Flames in the first of a very busy week, Rich, as I shared in the outline. Um, I was thinking about it first off, but I can't remember. Um, you can help me if you remember a scheduling instance like this, but I can't remember 3 and 4 at home happening very often in the course of the first um 15 years in Winnipeg. And
What do you mean 3 and 4?
like 3 games in 4 nights at home. Played back
Oh,
to back, played all at home.
yeah.
And then it's not just once; it happens one other time too in March, which is very bizarre. Um, but again, that's Olympic scheduling for you. Um, there
But
is
if you're gonna have it, I'd rather have it being at home than being on
no,
the
I
road.
know, and that's the weird part about it is it's twice. It's all at home. Um, Perfect scheduling if you're the Jets. No excuses. Usually
No.
it's a 3 and 4 on the road in 3 different cities in 4 days, and it's nice to have it at home.
Yep.
And we'll get into this in a minute, but I think the schedule really sets up to be advantageous here for the Jets to go on an extended run tonight against Calgary, Thursday against Seattle, Friday against Calgary, and Sunday against the Utah Hockey Club, who currently sit at 4-2 at the time of this show, which is good enough to host a wild card spot. Now, take that with a grain of salt because the wild cards and the division races flip on a night-to-night basis because we're so early in the season. But
Correct.
Rick, one thing we do know, and sources tell me, that the Winnipeg Jets have a 4-1 record, good enough for second place in the Central Division, behind only the Colorado Avalanche, who have one more game played and are sitting at, I believe, 5-1 through 6 games. So that is pretty good for the Winnipeg Jets. And Rich, I was talking to somebody yesterday at the hockey rink who happens to be watching our show, who shall remain nameless. I know this individual. Not too sure you do, but they end up watching our show, and he said, you guys went on about the secondary scoring on and on and on and on, and this individual tells me, "Oh, it's like the Jets were listening to your show
Yeah.
because."
Oh yeah. You took our advice and implemented some changes and immediately got results. Okay. Sure. You know
But
what? I
no,
appreciate the
again,
compliment.
with the caveat that it was a grain of salt at the time with very few games.
Yeah.
I think we made that caveat at the time.
Okay.
But secondary scoring has arrived for the Winnipeg Jets, and the Winnipeg Jets did not lose this week.
No, they looked really good against the Nashville. Really good. I mean, they were okay against Philadelphia. It was okay. They had some up, or no, against the Islanders, I should say. They won
Yeah.
5-2 against the Islanders. That was kind of up and down. Flyers were better. And that game against the Nashville was very good. Like Nashville just did not have space to do anything. And the Jets killed all the power plays that Nashville had. They got two of their own power play goals, one by the first line, one by the second, or one by the first unit, one by the second unit.
Yep.
All the scoring was, like I said, by the other lines, except for the Shifley line, which was on the power play. So you could say that's not even a line goal, although the three of them are on that first unit. But yeah, no, they played really, really well. It was, yeah, it was actually when I see them play like that, then you say, man, like that's a really good team. And people are saying it's a really good team. And they're missing, you could argue, three very big components in
Yep.
Sanford, Perfetti, and Lowry, right? So your captain, your third line center and captain, your second line left winger, and your second pairing left D. So I don't know. They look pretty good. They got lots of good parts that are able to come in and fill in where necessary. And look at, you got Iafallo playing on the third or fourth line, and then somebody gets injured, and he moves up to the first power play unit, and he's involved in several of the goals scored on the power play. So I'm just saying it's a nice. I mean, it's not a problem. But every team has injuries. The problem is, how can you respond as a team to that? And some teams, you just don't have, let's say, the ability, but it is, you don't have the talent level, right? You can plug guys in, but they might not be effective. And I'm just saying the Jets, for whatever reason, they got guys, they can move Nemestikov and Iafallo and these guys up and down. You do,
This
Grant.
one. Sorry, man.
No, it's because he's too noisy. That's what it is.
It's because
He's
I
too
do a
noisy,
lot of
or I'm too
talking and a
noisy.
lot of podcasts, and they just
Yeah,
sit with me talking in the upstairs living room.
yeah, exactly.
So they have to listen to every word of every podcast that I do.
Yep. Yeah. So
No,
let me
that's
ask you this. I know, because I wanted to lead into this now, because this is going to
yep,
kind of get into what we're talking about, because you're asking me
yep,
about how they're doing secondary scoring, which is really good. And
yep.
they've played very good the last three games, and they deserved overall the wins, especially in the last two. But even with the Islanders kind of up and down, but they deserve that win too. So, but what I heard today was that Lambert is going to be in the lineup tonight. I don't know if you heard that.
I heard he got called up. I didn't hear about the lineup
He's
part.
going to be in the lineup. So I don't know what's going on. Is it an injury thing, or is it that they just want to keep the same as they got Ford into the lineup after they had Chibrikov in for the first few games, 2 or 3 games? Now they've had Ford in the last 2 or 3 games. Is this just a thing now they're going to rotate in Lambert, or is he coming in on the second line as somebody like, yeah. So I did not see the line combinations. I thought
Yeah,
you might
here
have
it is.
seen
I
this.
didn't see it either. I'm
Okay.
looking at it now, but you said it. It's
Okay.
Connor Shifley Velarde. I have followed the mess. Sorry. It's Connor Shifley Velarde, Niederreiter, Taze, Nyquist. I have followed the Mesnikov, Lambert, Kopke, Barron, Pearson.
Okay. So Ford is coming out and Lambert is coming in.
Right, and then Chibrikov remains as a scratch. I didn't
The
see
black
them
case, yeah.
send
Interesting
them
though. Yeah,
down.
interesting. Yeah, yeah. Niederreiter and Taves seem to have some really good chemistry together. So let's just see if Nyquist can kind of start here and they can get some goals. Now,
Yeah, he had some points in the games that I saw, but I
yeah,
remember watching. But you know,
yeah. And this
I
is
would.
good. This is good having Lambert playing with good people. You can't put him out there. And I got nothing against Parker Ford and Kupke and Pearson. I mean, they are who they are, right? But you can't put Lambert out there with fourth liners like that. He's playing with Nemestikov and Iafallo. That's good, because Nemestikov is very smart with a puck. He's a good passer, and Iafallo is smart and he's good in the corners. He's good at chewing out pucks, and he's good defensively. So I like that. Play Lambert the third line, and because you don't have Lowry, play him with some guys that have some speed and some skill, so that Lambert can play off of that. I think that's a great call.
No, it is, and it's an interesting point because um here, you know what? This is gonna tie right into what I want to say, and I'm gonna answer this
Okay.
question right now from Rob. Do either of you feel that Lambert deserves a chance to show what he's capable of? Yes, yes, and yes, because I think for the first time, um, I feel he's actually in a position where he's gonna be able to succeed. I don't believe that he's a top six player full time yet. I don't believe that he's a bottom fourth line player. I think this is the perfect mix for him. And I think, to be honest, they're looking for that piece. They haven't gotten it from Chiberkov yet. Uh, I don't know if they haven't seen the consistency
Excuse
before,
me. Yeah.
but this seems like an audition for one forward spot, whether it's second line right wing or third line right wing in this scenario.
Yeah.
It's clear to me that there's a winger position up for grabs.
Yeah. Listen, I agree, but has he? See, here's the thing, right? It's always the way it is. You got players that are maybe ready to break through and get into your lineup. The problem is you have players in those positions already, right? So you've got Perfetti on the second line. He's a left winger, Lambert, I believe, so or a centerman. You've got your
Yes.
second line center. He's not going to knock off Nemestikov or Taves. So that's just where he's at now. So he's going to have to come in like these situations allow when there's injuries because Lowry's out and because Perfetti's out. He and Chibrikov and Ford have had the chance to come in. So it's just wait now. Has he earned the right to be in the second line or even the third line on a regular basis when Perfetti and Lowry come back? That's a good question. I don't know. The coaches know that. The coaches have made that assessment at the beginning of the season because if Lambert had been like lights out and the next Wayne Gretzky or Mark Messier,
Mm-hmm.
he would have been in the lineup to start the season and the Chibrikov would have been sent down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he would have been out. So he didn't. So that tells me he didn't play as well as Chibrikov in the preseason, and he didn't earn the right to be there. So now
Yeah.
maybe because he's been with the Moose, he's played better. They're going to give him another chance. He's get lots of chances, but the problem is, even if you knock down a bunch of doors, you still got veteran guys making way more money
Mm-hmm.
above you, and that's the problem. Unless there's injuries, how are you going to get into those roles, right?
And this is kind of interesting, right? Because it's like, how can you make that assessment if you don't give the guy the proper opportunity? Well, you have to make with whatever opportunity you're given to kind of push your way in
Exactly.
the door.
Right. And and
So,
and there's the question being asked is what happens if Lambert goes lights out, scores, you know, a goal a game the next 10, 15 games that he's in when Lowry and Perfetti are healthy? Does he stay in the lineup? Well, I don't know. Maybe they find a way to get him in the lineup and find a way to Lowry and Perfetti to play otherwise. And I don't know. Those are all really good questions.
yeah,
It'd be a nice problem to have because if he's scoring a goal a game, they're probably not going to take him out of the lineup because he's helping the Jets win a lot of games. So, but
right. Now, I here's the thing.
yeah,
Again, Rob's question is a hypothetical. I'm not sold on that bottom six right this minute with Klopke. Barron can be the exception because he's putting up points left, right, and center. When I talked about points per game,
yeah,
I wonder though, is there a spot to be won there? Yes, probably. But again, it's are you okay with Lambert being in the bottom part of your lineup? Because let's be frank, barring an injury, um he's not replacing anybody on the top line. I don't believe he's also replacing anybody on the second line.
correct.
So if you didn't plug Lowry in on the third line, what spot does that leave for Lambert? Maybe Kopke's spot, but then you're losing a Checker, right? He's
Yep,
probably not. He's probably not taking out Barron. I highly doubt he's taking out a penalty killer like Tanner Pearson, who's played pretty well in
yep,
his limited ice time.
yep.
So I just don't know where you see that fit sort of put it in because for me, I think Barron goes to the fourth line. Lowry assumes his normal spot, and then potentially Klopke comes out. Like to me, I'm sorry, but Klopke just seems to be the guy on the outs when everybody's healthy. But
Listen, but
I'm
he's
not.
a good hockey player. He's got lots of speed. He
See,
kills
and that's
penalties.
that's the issue too. Deep teams have love these problems.
Correct.
And let's not borrow trouble on trouble's doorstep. I've coached a lot of games in ball hockey to know, but this and this player's coming back. That'll be good for that. And then the game before, something else happens,
Yep,
and nothing is
exactly.
ever nothing is ever as simple as, this is the way it's going to be when everybody's healthy. Something happens at all times.
The very best case scenario for the Jets is everybody gets healthy, everybody's playing well, and the coaches are pulling their hair out trying to figure out who out of all these great players is going to make the lineup night to night. And it's
Spoiler alert, I don't think there's a hockey team that ever has that problem all year.
no, and exactly what the Jets are doing now, and which I think is smart, is you don't let anybody burn for too long on the bench,
Right?
right, or in the
Right?
press box. So they get in Chibrikov, then they get in Ford, now they get in Lambert. Like I just think that's good. You kind of see, what does this guy bring? What does this guy do when he's involved in this situation and he's playing on the third line with these guys? Can he adapt? What does he do? Can he kill penalties? Is he strong in the corners? Is he good defensively? Can we trust them with a 1-goal lead out there with a minute left in the game? So all of those things, I think it's good. You're right. It's confusing for us as fans, but it's a great problem to have as a team. So
There's
yeah,
there's a method to the madness is probably a good line.
yeah,
In some instances. The other thing I wanted to talk about quickly, and this kind of ties into this week that we saw, I believe in the last two games,
yeah.
um, that was Shen and Stanley pulled apart, and it's now Stanley, Pionk, Flurry, Shen. Personally, I love this. Um, I know you and I were questioning the Stanley Shen third pair last week. It's nice to see in my mind that experiment didn't last very long. Whether that was a necessity
It
or
couldn't have. It
other
wasn't possible.
reasons, but this to me, and these will be the lines tonight: Morrissey, DeMello, Stanley, Pionk, Fleury, Shen.
Yep,
I think, given what the Jets have, this is the best possible deployment of the options that they have right now.
correct. It's not always the best deployment. Logan Stanley, I know people have been, I'm going to say the word poo pooing, but there's other words that people use to describe him and describing or in the verbiage. I don't use that word on
Correct.
radio in front of our crowd, but people have been all my buddies like, oh, get rid of Stanley, da, 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 da. And I keep telling you cannot coach and you cannot teach size. You can't teach 6'7" with a wingspan like a 747. You can't teach that. You can't teach a hockey stick that's twice the size of or length of a hockey stick that I would hold if I was on playing on defense, or that Josh Morrissey or DeMello has. So I'm just saying Stanley, he's not out of the woods yet. I'm just saying the last few games he's played pretty good. And you know what it was? It's playing with a good hockey player in Pionk, somebody who can skate. So Stanley, his slow, I say slowness, but he's not slow, but he's not speed. So it's a good balance, size and intimidation with Pionk, who's the skater and the puck mover. A little bit more offensive, a little bit more defensive, left shot, right shot. I love it. I think this is going to help with Stanley. It's going to help his confidence. He is going to get better and better. It was a long time coming. I still see the upside to Logan Stanley, and I still think he's in the future plans of the Jets. They are not going to trade away or cut a guy that was costing him 2 first-round draft picks because he had to upgrade to get the pick they wanted him at,
Yeah.
and invested all this time and resource to coach him up. And he's did a lot of work on the offseason with his foot speed. And
It's
he's
clear
not
he's
going to
got
be Cale
2 goals.
McCarr. He's not going to be Cale McCarr, but he's going to be Logan Stanley. And I like him. I like his
Well,
size. I like his energy. I like his nastiness. I like how he stands up for his teammates. He's got a hard shot from the point. Michael, it's only going to get better.
right.
Go.
And then to answer Rob's question, Dylan Sandberg, Adam Lowry, Cole Perfetti were all on the ice today at the Hockey for All Center skating
Yep.
while the team was away. According to Dave Minute of Alito Curve, who actually saw the skate, I just saw the
Yep.
pictures. I didn't happen to be there when the skate was going on. Um, Cole Perfetti is moving fairly well, all things considered, off of his ankle injury, which was tabled week to week. Arneal said today that the Mike McIntyre of the Free Press in Calgary that Cole Perfetti might be a little bit ahead of schedule.
Okay.
So good news there. Um, so far so good with the Jets too. I think when you can play with injuries and continue to play as well as you have, it just goes to show the benefit of a great system. Um, when you have a great system um, and the team sticks to the system, good things can happen. Another thing I wanted to talk about quickly, it was a bit of a black eye last year to kind of start the season, but it's the penalty kill continuing to roll right along and be very effective, not killing
Yeah.
as exorbitant amount of penalties. The game is certainly going to help, but to me, Rhett, this is just a continuation of where the Jets penalty kill ended last year.
Hmm.
After not starting very strong, they finished very strong once they got their penalty kill sorted out with the new coaches last year.
Yep.
Um, I don't think the penalty kill is as big of a surprise as if you were watching the team last year from say January through to the end of the season. The penalty kill was at or near the top half of the NHL, which is very good considering that they're missing one of their, uh, actually two of their penalty killers in Lowry and Sandberg.
Yep.
So, and that was also true, Rich. I think one of the laws that the Jets had in their season was when they lost Dylan Sandberg for that period of time last year. That was coincided with that long road trip too. The Jets kind of went 500 after a very above average start. I think would be a lot of people's polite way of putting it, but this year there hasn't been that drop off so far anyway, with the absence of Dylan Sambert, and I'm wondering if that has to do with the addition of Luke Shen. Now, Shen is not going to be Dylan Sambert, but it helps the penalty kill and helps the Jets
Yeah.
fill a bit of a need
Yeah.
temporarily
Yeah.
until they get one of their top four D-bat, and
Yeah.
arguably very, very important on the left side.
Yeah. And Shen's not playing on the left side. So it's actually not Shen. It's
Well,
actually Stanley is playing a lot of those
Stanley,
minutes
okay.
there, or even Morrissey. See, and I wouldn't put, I know they like to put Morrissey killing penalties. For me personally, I would have the two lefties being Stanley and Sandberg and rotating those two guys. And on the right hand side, having DeMello, Shen, Pionk, whatever mix you want. I would take Morrissey off that, let him have all the energy and time he can have to move the puck when it's regular 5-on-5 or when it's power play time, in my opinion. But anyway, I think it's the situation they're in now because they lost Sandberg. I think the Flurry will sometimes be out there to kill penalties. They'll sometimes rotate him in. But yeah, hey, listen, the Jets are in the top third, power play and penalty kill. Yeah, surprise, surprise. They're 4-1. I mean, that's yeah, it's good. Hey, are we
Yep.
going to talk a little bit about just some surprises and
Yeah, yeah,
to
we
start
we
the
can
season?
do that. I'm just making sure that I have everything covered for this week, but I had in my notes, which we
Calgary
do.
is going to be an angry bear tonight. They've lost five
Oh
in a row.
man.
That my dad says, Rick, this is a setup game. You say, oh, the Jets, they're going to play against the team that's lost five in a row. They're terrible. And he goes, that's always the kiss of death. That team comes out like they're just like as angry as a nest of bees that you've hit with a stick, and they're just going to come out gangbusters against the Jets. I hope
Here's
not, but they lost five in a row after beating Edmonton the first game of the season. Calgary, they're 0-5
and
last five. It's just
and
shocking.
even that game against Edmonton, with one could argue they did not deserve to win. They had to make a big comeback in that game.
Correct. Correct.
Um, you know what? I'll say it here because I think it needs to be said. I think the Calgary Flames are regressing to where they should have been last year. There were analytics and third period comebacks and Dustin Wolf playing in over his head last year,
Mhm.
which had them
Yes.
one within 1 point of the playoffs. I think Dustin Wolf regressing a little bit, the team regressing a little bit, um, has now sort of come to normal levels, and this is, to be honest, the Flames are this year where I thought they would be last year. And I don't know how much of that Las Vegas game you saw on Saturday night, but they did not look good there.
No.
Um, they left an extremely lot to be desired. Um, they had a third period lead against St. Louis, but they couldn't hold there about a week and a half ago, maybe two
Yeah.
weeks ago now. Um, yeah, I mean, it's the Flames being a little bit young and so far, I don't want to say disorganized, but the Flames are sort of what we thought they would be last year, which I think is very interesting. Um, as far as this being a trap game for the Jets, I'm not there yet because the Jets played very well in these types of games last year. I think the Jets are a different team when it comes to that now. Now,
Hmm.
could Calgary win this game? Absolutely, they very well could. But again, we have to remember Calgary's been doing this without Jonathan Huberdeau, among other injuries. Martin Prospero, I think, also out for the Flames, and then they have some really really young forwards. It looks like just in talking to some people and listening to some audio in the Calgary market, it sounds like their defense core is a bit unsettled.
Hmm.
What's going to happen with Rasmus Anderson? Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Um, so they have some questions to answer there. And Dustin Wolf was a Vezina finalist last year, Calder finalist as well. Um, he also has not been great, but I think that's the byproduct of the team around him. And I hate to break it to you, if the Flames already sits back of a playoff spot, they can't afford to be any further back. I realize we're 6 games in,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be easy if this keeps sliding down the hill. And the Winnipeg Jets are playing a wounded bear tonight, or a wounded whatever you want to call it. Um, the Winnipeg Jets should put their stake in the ground if they're serious about being called one of the best teams in the NHL, which is the phrase that I've been hearing an awful lot. They're gonna need to put their stake in the ground and win this game.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, it's just interesting that it's odds are the Jets will win, but Calgary's lost five in a row, and I agree with you. They are not as good a team as people thought they would. And I agree with you that Wolf covered up a lot of sins, if you will, with his play halfway through the year to the end, right? With just a lot of the sins of
Just
the
like
team were
Hellebuck
on
covered
the
up a just like Hellebuck covered a lot when the Jets were in transition from
correct when they were
old
not
system to
focused on
bonus.
playing good defense. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But here's another one or here's another three that we could talk about. Florida has lost
Hmm.
four in a row. Injuries galore. You could argue their two best players in Barkov and Kachuk out. Uh, they lost some guys in the offseason after winning the cup again. Paul Maurice is not happy. That team does not look in sync right now. Tampa Bay 1-3-2 to start the season, only one regulation win. Edmonton 2-3-1, lost their last two, I think.
Two.
That's it.
It didn't
Yeah,
look good on the weekend at all.
no, but they're 2-3-1. So big question marks. I mean, I know it's early, only 6 games in, but Florida four in a row losses, and Tampa Bay and Edmonton very slow out of the gate.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Is there a correlation between that and all of those teams having played a lot of hockey in the last 5 years?
I don't buy. I don't buy that because you get rest. You can I think I'm going to say it this way, and somebody you can agree to disagree. I
Hmm.
think Florida, it's just injuries. You listen, you can't take Shifley and Connor out of the Jets lineup and
Hmm.
then say, "Oh, what's wrong with the Jets? Why aren't they playing like they play?" Think about that, right? Like that's how good Barkov and Kachuk are. You could argue they are their two
Hmm.
best forwards. I mean, there's lots of good players there, but I would argue they are their two, not just in scoring, just in overall play, team chemistry, leadership, defensive smarts, intimidation, physicality, all of that. They're your two best. You take Shifley and Connor out of the Jets lineup. What does that look like? You take
Mm.
Draisaitl and McDavid out of Edmonton's lineup. What does that look like, right? So
Mm.
with Florida, I wouldn't say it's an excuse, but there's an explanation. How about that? But my question mark is Tampa Bay and Edmonton.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, I mean,
Same here.
the goalie there has been terrible. What's his name?
Vasilevsky has a sub
Vasilevsky has been
4,
terrible.
has a +4 goals against average.
Oh, and Edmonton just has not been good defensively. I'm not blaming it all on the goalie. That team has not played well defensively. You have to play well as a unit, and that includes the goalie and the players. But anyway, I'm just surprised because I thought those are three teams, like after how great a year they had last year, including playoffs, to come out of the gate with all those issues. It just surprises me, but it just shows you that's hockey, right? It's not always what you think or always what's in the past. There's things that can surprise you. So, but
How about the other side of this? Detroit, 4 wins in a row,
5 wins in a row.
or 5 wins in a row.
They lost their first one. They've lost 5 in a row. Mason Appleton is one of their leading scorers. Ugh, I whatever. And then Carolina is 5-0, and Ehlers has no points yet, and he's playing more per game than he did on average with the Jets. And he plays on the second line and on the first power play. So it's going to come eventually. It'll explode. But I mean, Carolina, it just shows you I think that is a hungry team. They want to win. They've been so close. Every year we always say, oh, this is the year Carolina gets over the hump.
Boom may run into Washington. Boom may run into whoever in that metro.
I just, like, when I think back, I think it's always they get into the playoffs and then they run out of scoring. They sort of do scoring by committee. They don't have any superstars, except for maybe Svechnikov there, I guess, or is the one, right? Or what, I believe. But anyway, now maybe that's why they got Ehlers, because they just wanted more scoring, more secondary scoring in the playoffs. I don't know. That's probably what it is.
Is size an issue with Carolina when it comes to the playoffs?
I don't think they're small, although they said goodbye to Brett Burns, right? Because Burns is playing with the Avalanche, I think now, right?
I think. Yeah.
So there's a big guy right there, but I don't know. Is it size? It's just everything. It's timely goal scoring. It's all those little factors. I don't know, but Detroit, that one I can't figure out, because every year we think, oh, they're going to be better. Mind you, they've played 5 of their first 6 games were at home. So, okay, let's see how it goes when they go on the road. So, I mean,
yep. And their one road game wasn't very far away in Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the one they won.
Again, you need to get off to a good start, because Detroit is a team that has come a point shy of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they have not been able to bank points in October, November to help their cause come April.
Yeah.
So I'm still not sold on Detroit. I still think that division goes through, I don't even know who at this point, because when I looked at that whole division, like Montreal's 4-2, the Leafs are 3-2-1, but they have their own set of issues. If you listen to Anthony Stolarz, who publicly basically called his team out and called the NHL out on getting hit with the puck in the face after not getting a whistle. Team that I can't figure out right now is the 2-4 Ottawa Senators. We said that last week, and it kind of manifested into problem alley, if you want to call it that. But their goaltending has not been good enough. Their defense has not been good enough. And now they're going to miss their captain for the foreseeable future with an unfortunate injury.
Yeah. But they still got lots of good players there. They went out and got Pinto. They've got secondary.
Pinto leads the NHL in scoring with 7 goals.
There you go. So they've got secondary scoring. They got it with Ottawa, and I don't think it's goaltending either. I think it's, it sounds like such a cliche, but it really is. The Jets were always a very talented team, but until Rick Bowness came in and he got buy-in from the players and to change the culture of the team, and the culture of the team had to change, and that We're not going to be run and gun. We're not just padding our stats. We're going to play defense first. We're going to do it as a 5-man unit with our goalie. We're going to move pucks quickly out of our own zone. We're going to support our D. We're going to turn over pucks in the neutral zone. We're going to pressure the puck. And from that, we're going to create offense. And we're not just going to flood the zone and get caught on 3-on-2s and 2-on-1s going back the other way, which was the era. And I don't want to point out Wheeler because I like Wheeler, but that was the era when he was captain. And as soon as he was gone, and they said there was a new leadership group, and Lowry was named captain, and Bonus leaned on it, said this is the way we want it to be, and they all bought in. It changed, and now it's been like that for the last few years. And even when guys leave and new guys come in, it's everybody buys in because this is you want to call it Winnipeg Jet hockey or whatever. That's the way they play. And when they play like that, they are a very hard team to beat. And
The other, yep, go
sorry,
ahead.
let me finish my point.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's the way it is for the Jets. And Ottawa has not, for whatever reason. Travis Green is a good coach. He's a good hockey player in the NHL, not a superstar, but a very good player. He is a good coach
Former
in
Moose,
Vancouver, but they are not going to be successful with all that talent until they buy into this defense first. Pinto can lead the league in goals, but right now they're not in a playoff spot. So what's the point, right? It'd be like Connor scoring 80 goals. Who cares if the Jets don't make the playoffs? So it's
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the New York Rangers. Yeah, the record doesn't look flattering. It's okay so far, but the big thing that jumps out: 3 home games, 0 goals. Coincidence?
coincidence with what?
Coincidence that it just happens to be at home and nothing to see here, and it's just an abnormality.
Abnormality. It's just
Yeah.
it's an oddball thing. They won all their games on the road. They lost all their games at home. Okay. It's going to
It's
turn
just
around.
interesting. 3 home games and no goals to speak of.
Yeah, it can happen. But what's tough is in New York, they're not exactly known for being patient fans. So it's like in Philadelphia, boy, when the Jets won in Philadelphia, they were booing Philadelphia midway through the second period already. Never
Yeah.
mind at the end of the game. They were booing just when they couldn't get anything going on the power play. They started booing the fans. It was just, and I think American hockey fans they have much less patience than the Jets. The Jets, when they don't play well, because I've been at games like that, fans are just very quiet. That's what we do in
Well,
Canada. We're very respectful, right? We just we don't. Jets, you stink. Yeah, get a new job, Shifley. Why don't you go pour concrete or go teach third grade? No, that's not. Hockey fans in Canada, we're very polite. We're just very quiet. We're concerned and we're maybe even upset, but we don't voice it. We're just very quiet. And that's what happens when the Jets don't play well. But you go to a game in Philadelphia or in Pittsburgh or anywhere of those Easter teams or even Detroit and New York City, oh my gosh, they're yelling and screaming and swearing at players and guys booing out loud, throwing jerseys, home team jerseys on the ice, even in Toronto, right? So
yeah.
it's just
It
whatever.
took 1 game for them to throw a jersey on the ice in Buffalo.
Well, yeah, but Buffalo again, I keep saying, why can they not win? That team has so much talent. They've had every coach and his dog through that team, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter who coaches. It doesn't like. Is there just something? Is it in the water? Is it the meals they serve the players pre-game? Is it are there toxins in the air in the change room? Like I don't get it with Buffalo. They have so much talent. I just don't get it. Now your goaltending is suspect, and that's always a big thing. Is if you don't got a number one guy that you can just count on night in and night out, like the Jets do, or
Right, if you put
Florida.
Hellebuyck on Buffalo, how does that affect the Sabres?
What's that?
If you put Hellebuyck on the Sabres, are the
Wow,
Sabres the better team?
there you go. But I haven't watched enough Sabres games. I mean, to know, but playing defense first. I mean, creating offense from defense. People say, "Oh, that's simple." It's not that simple.
Right.
Hockey is a funny game, and you got to get guys wired. You got to get them to buy in the other way. And that's the thing, like with the Jet thing, it's so true. If you get four guys on a line that buy into that and one guy doesn't, your line is ineffective, or that five-man unit
Yeah.
is ineffective, and you'll get goals scored against you. Or if you're half the team is and half the team isn't, you're not going to win games. You get everybody buying into that, you can have success like the Jets have seen the last few years. And I think with the Sabres, it's just you got all that talent, but just for whatever reason, they're not buying in. They're just not on the, whether it's believing in one another. I don't know what it is. It's strange because with that much talent on that team and all the draft picks, first rounders, power, and well, they got Tuck now, and all the young kids.
Darlene and
Pardon?
Darlene
And
and
Darlene, right on the back end. I mean, their defense core, just on the surface, on paper, is the envy of more than half the league in terms of you see who they have, and yet they still can't win. I can't figure it out. Listen, if I could figure it out, I'd be the general manager or a head of hockey operations with the Sabres, and I wouldn't be doing this radio show unless you called me in as a special guest to come in. And now, president of hockey operations, Rick Petty from the Buffalo Sabres. That would be the only
and then you'd have very reserved answers, so the interview would be very short.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So, but I know it's very, very strange. I wanted to talk though. I know you kind of just went over it really quick. I thought it was very interesting in Leafland.
Mm-hmm.
If this happens, let's say in LA or in Carolina or name your American city, that's not a big hockey market. It's nothing, right? But in Toronto, Stolarz says Nylander is not skating hard enough on a back check and causes a 2-on-1 to happen in overtime, so we get a goal scored against us. He's got to do better. Don't say that out loud, because every Leaf reporter under the sun is going to be poking the bear and trying to see what's going on. And I love it. I don't know if you saw the answer from Craig Berube. It's like, hey, guys talk. Guys care about the game. And he goes, and he even said it so funny, sort of offhandedly, it should have been kept in-house. Like they should have said it inside the dressing room, not the reporters. But hey, It's all good. And then Stolarz and Nylander both come out and say, it's good. I mean, listen, in the heat of the moment, I'd be ticked off too as a goalie. I'm in the game, I'm battling. One of my guys doesn't skate hard back. Boom, a goal gets scored. And now you shove a microphone into my face 5 minutes after the game, asking me what I think. I'm surprised
I've been
he
there.
called out half the team on that one for how lousy
I've
they
been there. Leafs are just lucky they did have a lot of pressure on them if their baseball team wasn't still playing.
Well, then that's the thing. If the Jays go another few weeks into the World Series, it's good for the Leafs. All this stuff will kind of, if they're not playing well, you're right, it becomes a secondary news thing to what's happening on the baseball diamond.
Listen, I listen to Toronto radio every day, and right now it's just Blue Jays, Blue Jays, Blue Jays, Blue Jays. They're maybe talking 2 hours of hockey a day.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens tonight. What else is hopping at you in the hockey scene through? Now this will be our 3rd week, but 2 weeks of game action.
Well, those were some of the things. Those are the flags or the things that I highlighted here. Just in general, I think too. I mean, I don't know if you noticed it. There just been I think I read somewhere. I'm not sure. It's my feel, and then I thought I read somewhere, not on TSN, maybe it was on the Hockey News website or somewhere, that they did an analysis of the first, whatever this is, overall the first 7 games of the season or first 2 weeks of the season or whatever that number is compared to the last few years, and penalties are way up overall.
Yeah,
the number of
I read that
called,
too.
Yeah, and the number of minutes of penalty minutes in a game. Now that could be fighting and a misconduct, I guess, can throw those numbers off. But I'm just saying there have been a lot of penalties called, and some of them legitimate. But again, some of them so ticky-tacky. Those ones called against Taves, was that against, I think that was against Philadelphia, wasn't it? I think that was the Philadelphia game.
Yeah, I think it was too.
And then DeMello got called for a holding. He just leaned on a guy, had his arm out like this, didn't grab him, just leaned on him. And they call holding. It's like, this again, I am a ref. Look at me. I want my face on TV on a national broadcast game so I could turn on my microphone and so my wife and kids can see Papa and hubby in the camera. 2 minutes. Winnipeg 19 holding. Yeah, great. We all know you earned your pay. To me, again, if it's a goal scoring opportunity, call it. I get it. I'm not, but this just overall, this ticky tacky penalty calls for stuff, just like because the game is going good and there's been no penalty called in the first
Oh, and nobody's heard
minutes
from
of the
me for
game.
half an hour, so I gotta call a penalty.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's the beginning of the third period. A penalty hasn't called it. Oh, I gotta, and it's 0-0. It's a 1-1 game. It's really competitive. Oh, I gotta do something to make the game more exciting. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah.
It just bugs me. But again, I've got friends who are referees, and they'd say, Rick, that's not the way it works. Da 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 da. And they're part of a big club. There's the referees association. It's sort of it's like the Illuminati. It's a very quiet, secretive group, and they all support each other publicly when they're talking about each other and supporting each other in what they're doing and how they're calling. So a ref that's working minor league games here would never say something bad about a ref who's reffing in the NHL and vice versa, right? But in general, I just got a beef with too many penalties. And the reason why there are too many penalties, which I agree there have been too many, is because there's too many not impactful penalties being called. Call the ones that are impactful and related to the game. Don't call the ticky-tacky stick in the hands at center ice for nothing. Don't call that, please, because it happens a million times a game. And if you're going to call that, you're going to have to call penalties for the next 15 minutes in a row every 30 seconds because somebody's hands are in somebody or somebody's stick is in somebody's hands.
No,
So that's
and to be honest, it's just a miracle because suddenly in the playoffs the whistles go away again.
well, exactly. Well, in the playoffs, half this stuff doesn't even get looked at. Exactly. So it is what it is. It's the league. But I'm just saying in general, even with this stuff going on, I'm not making it up. I'm not having false illusions or I'm not delusional because the evidence shows it. There are more penalties being called now than there have been in previous seasons in the first few weeks of the season. Now, some could argue, the refs might argue, say, well, there have been more infractions. Players have played more dirty. Players have made more penalties. Maybe. I might say, yeah, that's an easy way for you to get out of your part of the
A cop
responsibility.
out question.
Huh?
That's a cop out. We call that a cop out.
Yeah, it's an easy cop out, and you can't prove that, right? You can't. How can you argue that? I mean, there's no way to,
Yeah.
there's no way to quantify that or to measure that, right? So, but
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's
that's how about you? What have you noticed the first few weeks?
To be honest, I have not watched much hockey between the Blue Jay playoff games, the Jets games, and um, I'm just very impressed with how the Winnipeg Jets play, particularly against Philadelphia, particularly against Nashville. They're giving up 2 and 1 goals a game again. I take out the opening game against Nashville or against Dallas, pardon me.
Yeah, it's the Stars. Yep.
When you're giving up between 1 and 3 goals a game, most nights 2 and most nights 1,
Yep.
you're going to win a lot of hockey games playing that
Yep.
way. And I think it just goes to show for me, Rhett, how out of touch we were when, the Winnipeg Jets were playing fire wagon hockey. Under the coach, under Paul Maurice, and everything was kind of fine and gravy. And oh, yes, they're winning, but it wasn't a sustainable, brand of hockey.
Yep.
It's
Exactly.
interesting how delusional would be the wrong word, but how
That's my word of the day.
how we can be so enamored by hockey that's like fire white and we love it. It's up and down the ice. Seem to be, down 4-1, you could score 3 goals and then, just completely forget about the defensive end and come back and win. Now a game like Philadelphia where, the shots are 9-7 halfway through the second period and the Jets are up 2-0 because they're opportunistic on their chances. I like this style of hockey a lot more than what we had before.
Yeah,
And seeing the Jets comfortable in their own identity and taking it to other teams year after year after year, game after game after game, in a more sustainable way makes me a very happy person.
yeah, I agree. It's just, the Jets, I just think in general, even when they lose, they're going to lose
You
close
can you can
games.
say they lost with a respectable effort.
Correct. And they're going to lose close games. I just don't see them losing games like 8-6 or losing games 6-1 or something. I
Yeah.
just don't see that because they just in general they buy in far too much into the defensive play. Now it could still happen, but I'm just saying the amount of those times happening are next to none. Like maybe one a season they have like a game like that. They just don't show up and whatever. It's you write it off and you say, okay, that's 1 out of 82. So what? But I agree with you. The way they play now, they're going to win a lot of games, and even they don't win them, they're going to be in all of them. And I just wanted to say too, I know we talked a little bit about it earlier, but
Yep.
I think like finding the right mix. I mean, Shifley, Connor, Velarde, that's your lock. That's your first line. Okay, fine. But that combination of what's going to be lines 2, 3, and 4 when everybody gets healthy, how are they all going to mix? And you know what? Jonathan Taves, just the last few games, he, listen, he wins 2 out of every 3. I know he wins 2 out of every 3 faceoffs he takes. He is a smart hockey player. Like he's not an offensive weapon, but he's smart. He makes great passes. Those 2 passes he made
Yep.
in the game
Yep.
last game to get assists, he's going to get his goals. Now, is he going to score 90 points this year? Probably not. But if he gets 60 to 70 points as a
And he
second line
plays the
center,
right way, everybody will
plays the
be
right way,
happy.
and he's plus 20 or plus 30. Oh, and he's big. He's strong. You can't muscle him off the puck easy. Listen, he's just coming in. He's now into game. What is this? Jets have played 5 games. So
Yeah,
they're four
four
and
and one.
one. And just the last 2 games, I see Taves as like, yeah, okay, that's what Jonathan Taves can do. So getting him, maybe it's getting the right mix, getting him playing with the right guys. I mean, he played with Nyquist and he played with um, Niederreiter and Nyquist or Niederreiter and Iafallo last game. I thought Niederreiter, Iafallo was a nice mix, even Niederreiter, Nemestikov. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like tonight. He's going to be playing with Niederreiter and do you see Niederreiter and Nyquist, I believe, right? Because I think
Yeah,
Iafallo and Lambert are playing with Nemestikov, but that's
yeah.
good. Get him with some guys that he can get some chemistry going. If that line can score 3 goals every couple of games, that's huge. And I love the way Jonathan Taves has been playing the last few games. So I just think it's only upside right now.
No, for sure, for sure. Let's talk quickly about the Wheat Berets. I know we
Yep.
have to go on the way out,
Yep.
but they're playing Calgary in Calgary. Then they come home to play Seattle on Thursday, play Calgary on Friday, Utah on Sunday.
Sunday afternoon. Yeah, it's an oddball start. It's at 5
Yeah,
o'clock for
five
folks who
o'clock.
are wondering. Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
afternoon game, evening game? You
Yeah.
take your pick.
Early evening, late afternoon. So sure. Um,
Just go 3-1 for me.
okay, 3-1. It's not about listen, Utah and Seattle are playing very well right now, especially Seattle. Seattle is
Yeah.
has been very good lately. It's
Yeah, they
played
picked
very
up a
well.
lot of points earlier in the road trip, and they beat the Leafs in overtime. I want to say they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they
But
picked up a
anyway,
point, and Montreal picked up a point elsewhere on their road trip.
yeah. Listen, the Jets, because they play 3 of the 4 at home. I could see them going 4-0. I could, but I just don't think that's realistic. You're going to see uh, Hellebuck and Comrie split off Seattle and Calgary at home. I'm not sure which is which. Probably Hellebuck will play against Seattle and Comrie will play against Calgary. That's my bet because Seattle's played really well,
Yeah.
so they probably want Hellebuck in there on Thursday night. But that being said, I would say 4-0, but I'm not going to say that. But it could
Two
be.
one and one.
2-1-1. I just think they're going to lose one in there. Just it's going to be quirky, and they're going to get to overtime, I think, and they're going to lose in overtime or lose in a shootout. So, but if they went 4-0, it would not surprise me because these 4 teams or 3 teams, the one team they're playing twice, all three were non-playoff teams last year, and the Jets were the best team in the league. So, and the Jets are playing very well right now. So, it would not surprise me they go 4-0. But
No, I like 3-1. Then I like your 2-1-1 as well.
I know
Quick
stuff
prediction on the
happens.
way out. Jays won the World Series, or are they done tonight?
Oh my gosh. Uh,
It's Toronto. It's Game 7. Vladdy came in wearing an Austin Matthews jersey.
yeah. And it's Bieber against, is it Miller?
No, it's
No, against
Bieber against
Kirby.
George Kirby.
Kirby. And they banged up Kirby in Seattle.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. I like Bieber. He's a veteran. He pitched really well in game 3, which they needed as a must win in Seattle. I don't know. I'm going to be a homer. I'm going to be a Canadian. I think the Jays are going to win. The only thing that concerns me is because Hoffman pitched the 8th and 9th inning last night. Is he going to be available to pitch the 9th, or a pitch like against guys 1, 2, 3, 4? If that comes up in the 8th inning or the 9th inning, I don't know. Don't put Brennan Little out there. Don't put Little out there.
Hey, do not mention that guy's name. We would be in the World Series if it wasn't for that guy already.
Yeah, Louis Varland has been just like a beast, that guy. Yeah, so.
The only other concern that I have is Louis Varland has pitched the last 3 games. So
I put into Fisher. You're probably going to see a Fisher tonight.
Fisher, Dominguez.
Probably Dominguez, even though he gave up the grand slam, though.
Yeah, but it happens. Hey, that wasn't. I mean, asking the guy to come in with a bases loaded or 2 on is never.
Okay, the Jays win. Are you happy? There you go.
I actually think they're going to lose today. I don't trust that bullpen.
Okay,
but
it'll be I could see them leading into the 8th or 9th inning and then losing the game. I could. I could actually see that.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's it. We will be back next Monday, hopefully in advance of Game 3 of the World Series from Chavez Ravine in LA. It's the Jays and the Dodgers. Hopefully Game 3 this time next week. But anyway, go Jays, go Jets. Enjoy the week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I'm trying to find our exit music. Here it is. Whoops. Nope, there it is not. Here it is. Ron Window.
Goodbye.
Good night from Winnipeg. Go Jays, go Jets. Have a good week. Bye for now.